So this is the Fundamentals of Piano Theory, Level 3, the review test. So it's the last section of the book here. And funny story, I actually already did this video, but I did not turn my microphone on, so it was just a video of me pointing at the pages. So there's that. Here's for a second time. So the review test is about 5 pages long, and there's numerous different sections. If you need to pause it to kind of make sure you have the right answers, do whatever you need to do. Excuse me. Number 1, name these major key signatures. 1 sharp is G major, 2 flats is B flat major, 3 sharps is A major, and 3 flats is E flat major. Name these minor key signatures, and some bass clef just to kind of change there. A minor, G minor, E minor, and D as in dog minor. Section 3, add the correct sharps or flats to form these scales. In A major, there's 3 sharps, F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. B flat major has 2 flats in it, B flat and E flat, but I start on B flat, I end on B flat, so you're going to have to write in 2 flats for the B flat. D, harmonic minor. In harmonic minor scale, you raise the 7th scale degree. In this case, it's going to be C. Woo! So C becomes C sharp, and in D minor, I have my B flat there still as well. Section 4, name these intervals of the scale. Write M for major or P for perfect. Just remember that your perfect intervals are a perfect unison, a perfect fourth, a perfect fifth, or a perfect octave. The first section is in the key of F major. I know that because there's 1 flat in the key signature, and the root of all of my intervals are F. So when you're counting your intervals, always count and include the first note as well. Major 6th, major 3rd, major 7th, perfect 4th, major 2nd, and perfect 5th. The second section is in A major. I know that because there's 3 sharps in the key signature, and the root of all of my intervals here are A. Perfect 5th, perfect octave, major 6th, major 3rd, perfect 4th, and a major 7th. Section 5. Name the root of each triad. Tell if it's major or if it's minor. So I drew an arrow to all of the root pitches in these triads. The first example, it tells us it's G and it's major. So then we have F major, C minor, D major. Oops, I gotta turn this over a little bit. So that one's D major, A as in apple minor, B flat major, switch to bass clef, C major, G minor, E major, A major, F minor, A flat major. Section 6 is draw an augmented triad after each major triad. So you're just taking the major triad that they give you, and you're just going to change the 5th. You're going to raise it a half step. So in this triad F major, the C becomes a C sharp. In D major, the A becomes an A sharp. In E flat major, the B flat gets raised a half step to B natural. G major, the D becomes a D sharp. Switching to bass clef here, and now we're going to modify every minor triad to become diminished. So we're taking the 5th, and instead of raising it to make it augmented, if this was a major triad, you're going to lower the 5th a half step to make it minor. So the G is becoming G flat, the E is an E flat, the B is a B flat, the D is a D flat. Know that the intervals in augmented triad is a major 3rd stacked on a major 3rd, and then diminished to minor 3rd stacked on a minor 3rd. Section 8, write in the counts. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I draw my rest in parentheses, so that way you know it's quiet and you don't play anything there. Number 9, what is the relative minor to D major? That's B minor. If you don't have that memorized, you can go to the 6th scale degree of D major to find what the name for the minor scale is. So the 6th scale degree in D is D, E, F sharp, G, A, B. So that is B minor. Same concept for these next 2. Go to the 6th scale degree. For G major, the relative minor is E. And And for B flat major, the relative minor is G. For the next 2 pages, you need to study, look over this minuet by Bach, and answer the questions on page 63. So it's important to kind of look this over before you just start answering questions so that you can get a kind of just general sense of what the time signature is, what key this is in, what's the form of the piece. If you see kind of anything that stands out, that would be a good time to kind of just check that over before you start answering questions. Letter A says, what is the meaning of andante? That is a walking pace. So andante is the indicator at the top of the piece of how fast, how slow, whatever speed to play it at. And andante means they want you to play it at a walking pace. What is the key of this piece? This is D minor. I can tell that because there's 1 flat in the key signature here, and I start on D in my left hand. I have a lot of D minor 1 chords, and I'm ending on a D minor triad. I can also see that there's also raised 7th and sometimes even 6th scale degrees to kind of, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for here? Use, that's the word I'm looking for. The 2 other minor forms of scales, the harmonic and the melodic. Wow. Okay, letter C. What form of minor scale is used for the treble clef melody in measure 3 and 4? So measure 1, 2, 3. We have a C sharp here. So we have a raised 7th scale degree. That is the harmonic form. Letter D says name the circled interval in measure 2. Is it major or is it perfect? So this is a D going down to A or an A going up to D. It's important that you don't start on D and then go up to A because the interval will become inverted. So this is a perfect 4th. Letter E, name the interval circled in measure 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going from an A down to a D or a D up to an A. This is the perfect 5th. F says write in the counts in measure 7. I'm assuming they went the right hand, but I just did it for both hands. So I have 1 and a 2, 3. And in my left hand, I'd have 1, 2, 3. What triad is formed by the left hand notes in measure 7? 5, 6, 7 left hand notes here. I have an F, I have an A, and I have a C. FAC stacked is going to be an F major triad. Letter H says measure 9 has a repeat sign. Measure 9 and 10 have this sign over top of them. Explain what this means to do when playing this piece. So I wrote that you play through the first ending. When you hit the repeat sign, go back to the beginning. Because it's now our 2nd time through, we're not taking the first ending, we're skipping it and going to the 2nd ending. As long as you have something that kind of explains that and that the 2nd time through you do not take the first ending, then you're okay. Letter I says look at the right hand notes in measure 10 and 11 and compare them to the right hand notes in measure 12 and 13. So you can see it's the same rhythm here, but they're not the same pitches. It is up, this section is up a 3rd than this section, so this is a sequence. Letter J, what form of minor scale is used in the right hand notes in measure 14? Here we go. We have a raised 6th scale degree, which is the B flat becoming a B natural, and the raised 7th scale degree, which is a C becoming a C sharp. So that is the melodic minor form. Letter K, what type of dominant chord is formed by the circle bass clef notes in measure 14 and 15? So I have a G, E, C sharp, and an A. I know that this is a 5-7 chord because you have to be on the 5th scale degree of the key of this piece for it to be a 5 chord. And if the key of the piece is D minor, D, E, F, G, A, that's going to be the 5th. The root here of this chord is an A, and it includes the 7th scale degree from the root, which is a G. I'm sorry, not the 7th scale degree, the 7th of the root. 7th from the root, if I can talk today, which is a G, so this is going to be a 7th. So a dominant 7th or 5-7 chord. Letter L says write in the counts of measure 11. I did it for both hands again. So 1, E, and 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and. It's important to know that these are not triplets. These are 8th notes. You just have a dotted quarter note here, which is 1.5 beats. So 1.5, and then 3/8 notes behind it, not triplets. What is the form of this piece? This is binary form because you have an A section and you have a B section. It would be ternary form if you had your A section, B section, and then maybe you went back to your A section again, but it does not do that. It just ends right after the second section. What is the style of this music? This is polyphonic because there is not just a set type of harmony happening in the left hand. You can see it has its own kind of distinctive melody or route that it's taking. Letter O, this piece was written during the Baroque period. I automatically know that this is Baroque because when I see Bach, it is Baroque. Bach was in the Baroque time period. Last page. Match these Roman numerals with their names. A dominant is a 5-chord, tonic is a 1-chord, and a subdominant is a 4-chord. Remember, when we're doing musical analysis, we use Roman numerals. Number 14, match these signs and terms with their meanings. Adagio means slow. Accelerando means gradually faster. Dolce means sweetly. Molto means much. Pianissimo means very, very soft. Spiritoso means spirited. Poco means little. Cut time is just another way of saying tutu or alla breve. And allegro means fast. Number 16, you have to label the left hand chords from this little example with either a 1, 4, 5, or 5, 7. Remember the difference between the 5 and the 5, 7 is that a 5 chord is just the root, 3rd, and 5th, whereas a 5, 7 chord includes the 7th of the chord. So root, 3rd, 5th, 7th. So I have a 1, I have a 5, 7. I know this is a 5, 7 and not a 5 chord because it includes the 7th from the root, which is an F up here. 1 chord, 5 chord. This is a 5 and not a 5, 7 because it does not include the 7th. 1, 4, 5, 7. There's that F right there. Even though it's omitting the 5th of the chord, which is omitting means taking it out, it is still a 5, 7 chord. It's okay to take the 5th out. And then you have a 1 chord that it ends on. Number 17 is transpose what you just did up there. And number 16 down to B flat major. This is probably one of the easier transposing ones that they've had in this book or in this level because you're just shifting everything down a step, a whole step. So B flat major now has 2 flats in it, and you don't even have to write in any accidentals because they already put it in the key signature for you. So yep, that's good to go. I start on an E here in this example, but I'm going to bump it down a whole step, and now it's at D. And I'm just taking all the same chords that I analyzed here, and I'm just now rewriting them in B flat major here. Make sure that you add in your articulations, your dynamics, all that good stuff. And that's it. That is the review test for level 3.